The Cadaver Synod. When a corpse faced trial, imagine a courtroom where the accused cannot speak, not because he refuses, but because he's been dead for months. That's not the plot of a Gothic novel, it's the real history of the Cadaver Synod. We're in the late 9th century, a time of political chaos and religious conflict. Even the papacy, the highest authority of the Roman Catholic Church, was tangled in bitter rivalries. And into this storm stepped Pope Stephen VI, a man whose name would forever be linked to one of the strangest trials in history. Born in Rome around the mid-9th century, Stephen rose through the church ranks, eventually becoming pope in 896 AD. His reign was short but notorious. In a shocking move, Stephen ordered the body of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, to be exhumed. Why? Revenge and politics. Formosus had made powerful enemies by crowning Arnulf of Carinthia as Holy Roman Emperor, upsetting factions loyal to rival rulers. Stephen, aligned with those enemies, decided that even death wouldn't protect Formosus from punishment. Formosus himself had been born in Rome around 816 AD. He was respected, intelligent, and ambitious. By 891 AD, he became pope. But his papacy was riddled with controversy, alliances shifted constantly, and his decision to crown Arnulf was seen as overreach. When Formosus died in 896 AD, he probably thought his troubles were over. He was wrong. His corpse was about to star in one of the most macabre spectacles in church history. In 897 AD, Stephen VI had Formosus's body dug up, dressed in papal robes, and placed on a throne in court. Yes, a decaying corpse sat in judgment. The charges? Lying under oath, illegally becoming pope, breaking church rules. The courtroom was filled with horrified onlookers. Imagine the smell, the sight, the sheer absurdity. A lifeless body, propped up, accused of crimes it could never answer. Stephen himself shouted questions, while a deacon was forced to speak on behalf of the corpse. It was grotesque theater, a mix of politics and madness. The bizarre spectacle didn't stop at simply propping up a corpse in papal robes. Pope Stephen VI went further. A deacon was chosen to act as Formosus's defense attorney. How? By literally speaking for the corpse, moving its lifeless lips in a grotesque pantomime, like a puppet show staged in a courtroom. Imagine the scene, a decaying pope on a throne, a trembling deacon forced to ventriloquize his defense, while Stephen VI hurled accusations. It was less a trial and more a macabre theater of vengeance. Unsurprisingly, the outcome was predetermined. Formosus was declared guilty, his papacy was invalidated, his body stripped of robes, mutilated, and finally tossed into the Tiber River. The trial of the dead had reached its grim conclusion. This wasn't justice. It was a travesty, a grotesque display of power and revenge. And yet, it left a mark that history would never forget. The people of Rome were horrified. Outrage swept through the city. Citizens revolted against Stephen VI, disgusted by the gruesome spectacle. His downfall was swift. Arrested and imprisoned, Stephen was strangled to death within months. His reign ended as brutally as the synod itself. It was a clear reminder of how unstable power can be. One moment you're pope, the next you're a prisoner, undone by your own excesses. The Cadaver Synod's shockwaves rippled far beyond Stephen's demise. Less than a year later, the Lateran Council of 897 introduced a new rule. The dead could never again be put on trial. At last, the deceased were guaranteed peace, safe from posthumous prosecutions. But the synod's legacy didn't fade. It became infamous in church history, a cautionary tale of unchecked power and personal grudges. Over the centuries, it inspired books, plays, and even heavy metal songs. The grotesque image of a corpse on trial continues to fascinate and horrify, a reminder that truth can be stranger than fiction. The Cadaver Synod remains one of the most surreal episodes in history. It was madness dressed as justice, vengeance masquerading as law. Yet, from its chaos came reform. More than 1,000 years later, it still captivates the imagination. A sobering reminder of how far ambition and vengeance can drive individuals, and how even the dead are not safe when power runs unchecked. Let us know your thoughts on the Cadaver Synod in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have sure ideas, we'd love to hear from you.